Okay, good. Let's start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our webinar. Today we will present you the capabilities of SAC for planning. My name is Max. I'm a sales representative of ACBaltica. And also let me introduce my colleague, Pavel. He is our head of SAP BI and EPM practice.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Yeah, he will show you the demo of the solution. So we'll start our webinar from a short overview of ACBaltica as a company. Then we'll talk about SAC capabilities, features, and steps in planning cycle. After that, my colleague will present a demo. And finally, you'll have a chance to ask questions. Now let me say a few words about our company so you'll get an idea of who we are. We are ACBaltica, an SAP Platinum partner in Lithuania, member of United VARs Association with overall experience in SAP for more than 2 decades. We have a team of 140 employees, both consultants and developers, and our customers and partners are located in more than 10 countries across Europe. We have expertise in the following SAP areas. First, customer experience, all connected with Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, CRM, and so on. Our ERP and S/4HANA department covers the whole range of modules like FI, CO, SD, MM, EWM, REFX, and so on. For sure, we have expertise in BW, BI, BPC, and Analytics Cloud. And of course, we have our own team of developers. Now let's move on to the main topic. SAP Analytics Cloud functionality includes 2 large blocks, reporting and collaborative enterprise planning. Reporting uses existing data to support business decisions, and planning uses allocations, calculations, or predictive AI to generate new data. Now we will briefly review all the functional blocks and start with reporting. Reporting in SAP Analytics Cloud is available on 3 levels. First, operational level. Operational reporting and data mining are available for the company's analysts. Decision-making level. Here we mean dashboards and single points of entry for business users. And the board level. There is an SAP digital boardroom powered by SAC. Actually, planning capabilities are also available on all 3 levels. If you have a standalone SAP Analytics Cloud, you have analysis, planning, forecasting, and reporting in one application. This will allow you to make decisions fast based on the system's data. Using SAC planning tools, you can create and share private versions of plans and discuss what-if analysis scenarios before publication. These planning tools are modern and browser-based and allow you planning and modeling with various levels of details for any number of users. Harmonized data across all locations. SAP Analytics Cloud complements it by providing a complete planning and analytics solution augmented by AI to transform data-driven decision-making using the data and semantics provided. As the centralized planning platform, SAP Analytics Cloud allows you to synchronize your supply chain, sales, marketing, workforce, and IT plans into one version of the truth. At the same time, SAC reporting functionality creates a closed loop from insight to action. The classic planning cycle in SAC for planning consists of the following steps: preparation, schedule, predict, plan, visualize, and finalize. Of course, within this cycle, all the participants can collaborate by sharing stories, running discussions, and adding comments. Now I'm giving the floor to Pavel. He will show you the demo of the solutions. Pavel, please take the floor. Pavel, hello. Are you with us?
Yeah, sorry guys. Hello again. Yeah, my name is Pavel and we'll show you a short demo. And now let's discuss a high-level agenda overview for this demo. So the high-level overview of financial planning and analysis in SAC. We'll see an expense planning and planning accelerator that is incredibly fine in SAP Analytics Cloud for planning solution that improve your accuracy, improve your speed of planning and speed of replanning as well. We'll see on revenue, have a look on revenue planning, data distribution capabilities, analyze some cost allocation features of SAC, analyze financial planning overview dashboard, compare actual data with our planned data, see in a comparison report actual versus planned, and perform detailed data analysis and discuss some features of detailed data analysis as well. Now I will share my screen and go to the system. Okay, my screen should be available for you. Yeah, you see?
Yeah, screen is okay.
Oh, okay, great. So here, SAC for planning provide us a lot of standard functionality available out of the box. We need just to activate it, integrate with your system, and this standard functionality could be used for the very, very first days of the implementation. And it's very nice. And today's demo will be based on this standard pre-delivered functionality of SAC, available to everyone who have SAC for planning for sure. Here is Rapid Financial Planning and Analysis Suite for SAP S/4HANA. It consists from 3 blocks for now: Rapid Finance, Rapid Sales, and Workforce Planning. And in January, CapEx and project planning will be in place as well from January 2025. Today, we will concentrate on Rapid Finance planning, and from during our next webinars, we will discuss sales planning and workforce planning as well in more detail. Let's go to the finance planning now and analyze the structure. I have a lot of links to dashboards and visual reports, tabular reports, input planning enabled templates, and some administration activities. Let's go to the cost center planning template. Reports and forms in SAP Analytics Cloud called also stories, and it's usually contains from filter panel, additional controls, some buttons, description, tables, could be charts or something like that. Yeah, and we see table with cost center list, our expense account list, and version and date in columns. Date is based on the current date and automatically show us actual data from the beginning of the current year to today, actual data automatically, and allow us to plan some data, adjust planning data from current period to the end of the next year. So it's called rolling forecast. So you easily analyze your forecast data based on actual data already posted and closed in your accounting system, for example, in S/4HANA. Also, you could select company codes here to show not only one company code, but all of them, for example, or change company code. And the list of company codes available for filtering and for data analysis is defined by the authorization concept. Could be access to the data could be restricted if needed. Let's, okay, one more point. Here we see button, import workforce plan. By pushing this button, you could import previously planned in workforce planning employee expenses. We will not discuss workforce planning in detail today, but it's available, and you could either integrate your expenses from other functional budgets or input data manually or from other system directly in this financial planning block. Let's try to analyze some nice feature called planning accelerators. Let's see, we have a lot of employee expenses in quarter 2 of 2025. Let's analyze it a little bit, and maybe we need to shorten this to 1 million, but we don't want to short payroll and salary and payroll, salary and wages expenses. Let's lock it. Right click, lock cell. So we will adjust only those accounts included in payroll and benefits hierarchy node, but left payroll, salary and wages the same. Let's just adjust on very high level amount to 1 million, and the system will reallocate changes to all accounts except the lock one automatically. We could unlock it. The data was distributed by the changes were distributed proportionally between this selected group of accounts and period of time as well. So we could plan not only for certain year, certain account, but we could plan also by groups of accounts and groups of period. And the data automatically allocated proportional data that already was posted, was planned before our changes. Let's save this data for now. And go to Profit Center template. Here, we could analyze or plan gross revenue, sales deduction, and cost of goods sold, direct material data. All these accounts could be derived from sales plan or could be input or adjusted in financial planning template. Let's change gross revenue for quarter 2 2025. Let's drill down our company sells cycles and accessories. But we want to change gross revenue, but not proportional of gross revenue that was posted, that was planned, but with in different proportion. Let's right click, click distribute value, and change the amount to, let's say, 9 million. We want to redistribute, click equally, but we could change override and distribution key. It could be like directly assigned values. It could be by weights or proportionally. We could input weights, let's say cycles 75 and accessories 25%. It could be percentage directly, it could be some other weights, and the system will calculate percentage by their own. Let's change it. Overall data changed, and our amount distributed as per was input as per our input weights. Also, you could increase, for example, net revenue per 10%. You don't need to calculate it somewhere. You just could push plus 10%. Data will be recalculated. It's very nice features that accelerate your planning speed. And this reallocated, replanned, adjusted data could be adjusted again on the very line item level. For example, you could plan high-level strategic planners to high-level target, and after that involve more users to adjust their plan on the line item level per product, per customers, per profit centers, per maybe plants, whatever you need. Let's publish data. And go to the allocation rates. Here, the system already calculates to us percentage for marketing expenses allocation. Our demo assumes that we should allocate marketing expenses by net revenue by companies, by regions. This percentage automatically calculated based on our sales plan, either created in sales planning functionality or inputted directly in financial planning template. And we could reallocate the data, marketing expenses data. But let's have one more step back and return to cost center structure. Generally, we have marketing cost center in each company, in America company, in Europe company, and we have corporate costs that serve all the company of the group. So it exists corporate marketing services and direct marketing services in each company. And we want to reallocate marketing expenses from the corporate costs to the direct marketing cost centers. Let's go back to allocation rates and run the allocation. System allocate data. Here could be added different drivers, different allocation rules for sure, not only marketing expenses, but also for some household expenses, maybe services, maybe advertising, whatever you need to allocate. It's needed to be, you need to define the rules, how it should be calculated, how drivers should be calculated, or maybe input manually, how it should be implemented during allocation cycles, and implemented in the system. So we see this asterisk. It means that data, planned data was changed. You can again publish it. And we have several minutes. We will analyze the results. But for now, I want to show you also balance sheet planning. Some of accounts, like cash equivalents and account receivables, are read-only, is grayed out. These accounts calculated from sales plan and inputted DSO. Days sales outstanding, days payable outstanding, parameters calculated from actual data and adjusted if needed in this template. Based on this data and sales plan, you could, and purchasing plan if you want to plan it, you could calculate accounts receivable, cash equivalents, accounts payable. All the other accounts could be planned directly in this form. You could change it. Changing total was changed automatically, and when we change all the movements or all the totals and month-end balances, you could carry forward your balance to adjust future periods as well. Yeah, it is forwarded. So let's save our data and go to the reporting to see the allocation results and see some nice feature of SAC reporting that provides us ability to compare plan versus actual data and see on some additional features. Let's go to the landing page and go to the, let's say, financial statement and KPI tabular report. Yeah. Here I could select currency for analysis, group currency, or local currency if you need it. By default, all the planning performed in local currency. It could be converted by the inputted planning exchange rates, or could be planned directly in group currency if needed. It depends on you. You could also filter out profit center, cost center, functional area, and dimension called audit trail. This is more technical dimension, but it allows to analyze what was before allocation, what was allocated, yeah, and analyze the data including allocated expenses. Let's filter out marketing expenses. Right click. Sorry. Let's go to operating expenses. Change version to the planning one. And let's try to analyze our marketing expenses. Generally in 2024, it was 1,072,000 after allocation. Before allocation, it was the same. Yeah, so we are sure that allocation not lost our data. Let's select. It was well allocated, and allocated was only marketing expenses, but we have only zeros here. Okay. Let's select only direct cost centers. We see that on direct cost center was allocated 790 of marketing expenses yearly. Yeah. And we could analyze again. Before allocation, marketing expenses was 280. And after allocation, it became 1 million. So in this report, you could analyze your net income, for example, and some operational KPIs, including allocation or without allocations data, and compare the values. Also, we have trend report, allow you to compare company codes in time by selected version, actual, plan, or budget, or whatever you want, whatever you have in the system. For selected period of time, and per selected group of accounts. Net income or balance sheet could be calculated. Some calculated KPIs could be analyzed. Where it is? Sorry. Operating expenses, net income could be analyzed, including sales deductions, gross revenue, balance sheet as was planned. Also, asset liabilities with deep analysis per accounts. Data could be commented if needed, so you could click and use table function add comment. You could tag any of your colleagues. Of these numbers, and colleagues will be notified by the mail, by the system, and could open this story and read your comment, answer you, so you can easily involve your colleagues during your planning process to discuss some interesting insights, some question that you faced during your planning process, and not to plan alone. Also, you could export the data as well, yeah, in Excel file, for example, or you could open data analyzer. Let's open it in new tab. This feature allows you to perform slice and dice analysis. You have a lot of available objects to analyze the data in more details, not only company code and accounts, but also, for example, functional area. You could just drag and drop it to rows, or say, let's change balance sheet accounts. Sorry. Let's go back and analyze based on operating expenses. Sorry for that. You could still analyze open data analyzer, and you could try to disclose your data on cost center, on company costs. You could easily delete company code from here and add company code or cost center into columns. Yeah, one by one, or even move cost center a bit before under period and analyze Q1 USA cost center compare with German cost center, operating expense overall, employee expense, and period of time. You could export this data to PDF, CSV, or Excel file, call it somehow, expand hierarchy by default, export. Yeah, you see the closed hierarchy, expanded hierarchy, your extended cost centers by period, year, Q1, Q2, and so on. Also, before exporting, for sure, you could add some additional filters, change the structure if needed, and analyze the data as per available analytics. List of analytics could be extended if needed, and this could be a very useful feature for deep data analysis. Not only plan data, but actual data as well. Let's go back to the compare time and version report called super variance report. You could select version for base, for example, actual, time for base, for example, full previous year, and version for compare, let's say plan a full current year. The system will calculate variance in absolute values and in percentage. So you can analyze influencer of net income variances per your accounts. You could analyze not only net income, but also some cash flow, for example, calculated automatically by the system. Some KPIs accounts. like operating margin percent or accounts receivable, operating cash flow margin, EBITDA in absolute value and percentage, all this KPI calculated by the system, and this calculation available out of the box. Maybe it should be adjusted to your chart of account, maybe not, depends on what chart of accounts you use. So you can analyze not only inputted planned amounts and actual amounts, but also calculated KPIs, and see the planned forecasted results and perform some analysis of the variance causes. Let's go to the dashboards. For example, overview dashboard. About your ability to analyze the main KPI, like earnings per share, operating income, gross margin, operating expense, and see the difference in absolute value, actual versus budget difference, and in percentage value. Also, you could see the waterfall chart for disclosure of your operating income by operating expense and gross margin, with calculated absolute differences and percentage differences. You could see forecasted data as well. This forecast built automatically by the system used your data, your actual data here. The more data you have, the more the better accuracy of this forecast will be built. And here you could also see planned operating income trend to compare with actual data. You could change operating income, for example, to gross margin, and rebuild waterfall chart, actuals versus budget variance for company code, and trends report for gross margin. You could also change company code disclosed here to the, let's say, cost centers. Drill down it, or expand. Gross margin not maintained by cost centers. That is the reason, but we could select operating expenses. And see the results. Yeah, you see expenses, budgeted expenses, differences in absolute value and percentage, and here analysis by cost center groups. And for sure also you could see forecast data for the future periods. This report also shows you year-over-year variances, different variances, current year year-to-date, current year month-to-date versus previous year month-to-date, with absolute and percentage variance calculated, current year quarter-to-date, and the same for year-to-date. Super variance report for KPI, net income, operating expenses as well. You could also select group currency, local currency, filtering out profit centers, cost centers, analyze your data, check the results, and analyze the variances. Yeah. Yes. This system also provides the ability to distinguish responsibility area by your business user. Some users should plan this company code or this cost center, another user should plan this cost center. You can build planning process using functionality called planning calendar. This system will notify responsible users they need to plan anything in those terms and block the data from the unauthorized changes after that. And you can use it, you can delegate planning process to your end users and short your planning time to be more available for data analysis and for decision making, or maybe some insights, and to action generates than planning itself. In terms of my demo, I think that's all. I'm ready to answer your question. Thanks for attention.
Thank you, Pavel. Just give me a minute. I will continue with the presentation. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Good, thank you. Pavel has just shown what the SAC system looks like from the inside. Now let's see what particular benefits you get by using it. First of all, you can unify financial, supply chain, and operational planning in one solution to enable collaborative analysis and agile decision-making. Also, you'll be able to utilize and personalize Sandbox for visualizing metrics and simulating outcomes, allowing for confident decision-making. You can accelerate deployment with tailored business content and quickly create plans, budgets, forecasts, and reports using comprehensive enterprise planning tools. So now it's time for your questions, and I see that we already have some. First of all, 2 questions from Nick. Does SAC support strategic planning? Pavel, could you please answer?
Strategic planning, yes, sure. It's usually a little bit different process. It could be more detailed or less detailed. You could plan using Plan Accelerator on the group level and group currency, and the system will automatically redistribute the data to the certain company codes, certain maybe profit center if needed. And you could also automatically recalculate data from group currency to local currency if needed, and set the data as a target, log it from changes. Also, again, yeah, and also you could use strategic workforce planning that is integrated with project planning with your workforce requirement, but it will be covered by our next webinar about workforce planning functionality, including strategic workforce planning.
Yeah, thank you. And another question, from Nick. Could we organize our planning workflow using the SAC functionality? We need to define deadlines, assign and notify responsible planners, lock approved plans from changes.
Yeah, sure. You could use calendar functionality. Functionality of SAC could be used. You could set up automatically. You could drill down your input forms, but automatically by the separate planning tasks. Yeah, based on selected dimension, like company codes, for example. If you want to plan one user for one company code, another user for another company code, so the deadlines automatically set the responsible users, but you could change or set it manually as well, and run the process. The process will notify from time to time the users that they need to do something, automatically calculate some results, log the versions from the unauthorized changes if needed, and use all this nice feature like confirmation, approval, rejection with some comments. And it could, I think we will include such a functionality in our next webinar about sales plan or workforce plan. We could show it.
Thank you, Pavel. Another one question. Can we plan without mentioning any specific profit center, while my colleagues from other departments plan with a deeper level of detail?
Again, yes, you could plan by the very, very high level using this standard distribution functionality, for example. Yeah, plan the data on the very top without profit center, using hierarchy of profit center and planning on the hierarchy node, like all profit centers, and the system will reallocate data on the certain profit center. You could analyze actual versus planned data and adjust your plan if needed on the profit center levels in the future periods, in the future replanning process if needed for sure. If you don't need to use profit center at all, you could just hide it from the planning template. Yeah.
Thank you. Next question. Does it support integrations with third-party accounting systems?
Third-party accounting systems. Yes, it could be It's supported on the database level as an example. Yeah, it will be import data. Integration could be built using DataSphere as an integration solution. If you have a lot of data that should be recalculated somehow, you have some recalculation logic, we recommend to use DataSphere to do it, or BW if you have so. SAP BW. If you just need one-to-one integration, SAC could be integrated with third-party accounting system using OData services, web services, or database connection.
Okay, good. Thank you. Interesting question. What are advantages of SAC planning over Anaplan? A little bit tricky.
Maybe first that come in my mind, it's out of the box planning content already configured, like integrated with your SAP S/4HANA solution. You have S/4HANA as or ERP, SAP ERP as accounting system. It's very easy to start to use it because it's highly integrated. And both way, you will import your cost center list, profit center list, all the dimensions that you used for planning and for actual data from S/4HANA system, perform planning activities in SAC, and you could export planned data back in S/4HANA system and set it like a budget to budget availability control if needed, or just for operational reporting needs in S/4HANA system as well. I think they're very tight out of the box ready to use integration with your SAP system is the main advantages, as for me.
Good, thank you. The next one, what about consolidation part? So if clients are using BPC, then they need to go with SAC and group reporting.
Okay, what about consolidation part? Consolidation part, we talk about just intercompany reconciliation process. It could be easily implemented using SAC functionality, not a problem. It's not ready out of the box, to be honest, but it's not big deal. It's not hard to do. But if you want to calculate some more complex things in terms of consolidation, like maybe ownership percentage, or maybe some devastations or acquisitions or goodwill processing, I think I recommend you to use either BPC for consolidation or group reporting for consolidation. It depends on your accounting system for sure, because if you're using S/4HANA, maybe group reporting is a good solution with their own advantages. But if you already have BPC as consolidation platform, you could use it. You could use it and you could integrate it with SAC for planning, for nice planning features like planning accelerators that I show you, for some forecasting features, for additional and more mature, I say, confirmation processes and BPC, and some maybe machine learning prediction integration for your planning purposes as well. Yeah, you could use it both. I wrote an article about it, and we could share the link to this comparison and how we use BPC and SAC both to improve our planning process.
Yeah, thank you. And just in time, the next question, what is the best approach to migrate from BPC into SAC planning?
Great. It's a very interesting thing. Yeah, there is some migration steps, but mostly it looks like reimplementation. But yeah, it's mostly the same ideologically, the same objects, and very easy enough to move from BPC tools, from BPC objects to SAC from the point of view of technical consultant who know BPC and know a little bit SAC. We could integrate the data, could integrate all the models. It could be important, but story mostly should be recreated. Your calculation, your script calculation should be recreated. Hopefully, calculation language in SAC is very similar to script logic and BPC, and some construction remains the same. So you could copy paste it and adjust some rows, adjust some maybe technical names of your dimension. You don't need to write it from scratch. Yeah, and it's improve your speed of migration and remove some additional days of effort for migration. What is the best approach? I think the planning process should be analyzed. Yeah, some of planning forms maybe is not used. Maybe some reports also maybe is not used, as well as scripts and calculation. Maybe some planning forms should be adjusted as per business requirements. So we need to define the migration scope firstly, and after that we should define the priority maybe and move from BPC to SAC. Also, you should think about integrations with your system and how to rebuild it. And maybe it could be an option to use some features remain in BPC and some planning tools. Also, you could migrate fully in SAC and integrate both of them. We could perform such analysis of migration scope. We could discuss it in a separate meeting if you're interested in this topic. Please contact us.
Yeah, thank you, Pavel, and thank you, Roman. Roman could just share the link. Yeah, you can see it in the chat. Next question: how to add comments to the reporting? For instance, I'm comparing plan to actuals, and I need comments on deviations by entity, then by region, and finally at global level. Another one also comments to plan at the same level of details, starting with cost centers, then entities, regions, and global to allow us to know all the assumptions.
Okay, you could add comments and overall to the table. It is one part. Yeah, you can also add to your table additional columns called column comments and input comments here. Comments will start at such level of detail that you inputted on the company level, cost center level, account level, all of them. Yeah. It's another approach. The comment stored is available for analysis for the users that have an ability and access to such level of details, such company code, cost center. It depends on authorization, configuration of your system. Hope I answered your question. The same for reporting. It's not for only for planning. My comment widget available also for reporting tabs.
Thank you, Pavel. Is there any document on data sphere and SAC planning integration?
Depends. Yeah, if you mean loading data from data sphere to SAC, you could refer to SAC help in block of integration, and I think it should be, yeah, I remind that it was some pages about data sphere and SAC integration, how to build it, how to use it. Generally, the question is in allows to configuration between DataSphere and SAC, ideally, yeah. And it should be not a problem to find this information in SAC help. But if you mean seamless planning, new functionality, let's say new functionality, I propose you to wait the next release. If you're not this week, yeah, it should be this week, Saturday and Sunday. The nearest release will include seamless planning in DataSphere. That means that you could store your planning data directly in DataSphere without storage it in SAC and use it for real-time reporting based on DataSphere data. So if your question about seamless planning, I propose you to wait maybe a week or two, maybe months, to have a more mature documentation about this topic.
Thank you again, Pavel. Okay. So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You can always reach us by phone or by email that you now can see on your screens. We are at your disposal and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. So
thanks a lot. Yeah, nice to meet you, all of us, and let's be in touch. We'll be happy to answer all of your questions and help in your SAC planning journey.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.